Be afraid. Be very afraid.
So rewatching this film again, I feel like it's been cringy, especially like during the parts where you have the chef and his secondary chef as well. Like the chef is creepy already as he's looking at like the kids walking in, but his secondary chef is just like he's out of place with the oh sir and we got to watch how we talk about these
The butler.
youngins. Yeah, and I'm just like this is so wrong for a 80s movie. I'm sorry. I was going to say 70s. Feels like 70s.
83, this one, right?
Yep,
83.
Yeah, year I was born again. We're getting a
Now-
lot of that.
Now you know who that black second chef is, right?
No.
The one who gets $50 sweet dollars
The
extra
one
a
who gets
week
the
after he gets
$50
promoted
raise.
from sous chef.
He worked.
That is Robert Earl Jones, the father of James Earl Jones.
That's awesome.
Shut up.
Oh, man.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah,
That's Darth
man.
Vader's daddy.
That's Darth Vader's daddy.
Was that and
Wow.
that was Angela's real father? She was just
Oh geez, yeah, we're already getting into it. All right, this is Xenomania episode, I don't know, like 31 or 30 or something, and it's on Sleepaway Camp. And these two sons of bitches led me into this blind. There was jokes, there were some jokes, but I thought it was about the nut smuggling shorts, not about the end. So if you haven't seen this movie, it's got a great twist ending.
Oh, it's a twist.
Maybe watch Crying Game first. Take a look at John's shirt, by the way. That's part of it. But definitely see this movie before listening to this episode because it must be seen.
Yes, and
It's actually a good watch too.
and if you have seen it already and it's been a long time, rewatch it again because you'll definitely need a rewatch before seeing our episode. Definitely.
There's something special about this one.
And it'll set you up for the next two sequels, which are starring Pamela Springsteen.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
There's sequels?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't know
Sleepier
Pamela Springsteen-
Away Camp?
there's at least three more. The next two star
Yeah.
Pamela
You know what the-
Springsteen,
Sequels should
who is Bruce's sister.
Really?
Oh God, jeez! It's like
Yep.
everybody's sibling made it into this franchise,
Yep.
or parent, immediate family.
The second one's got the Jason mask and the Freddy claw on the poster, right? Like they were like kind of taking it to comedy in a way,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, they definitely lean into the comedic elements after the first one.
Well, yeah, I mean, they probably realized, oh, we were ironically, or unironically, I should say, quite hilarious when we made this movie. The opening scene with the boat hitting the family
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most hilarious things I think I've ever seen.
Turn the
Mhm.
wheel.
It's so stupid.
Turn the wheel.
Well, I can't. I'm looking right at the water skier, and the skier's like, "We're gonna die." He's pointing ahead.
Before we go too far, I do have a game for us.
Ooh, are we playing a game?
Oh, Solomon over here.
Yes, you're playing a game. It's another blind rank.
Yes. I'm ready.
And by the scoring that I have, Ryan currently has a 3-2 lead.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna get better for me.
Um,
Sure of that.
There could be curveballs.
Well-
Don't worry.
To be fair, your lists have won both times. It's just that Ryan guessed the theme last time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it's the
Yes, he
same
did.
thing.
Quick, too.
5 points if you get it on the first movie, all the way down to 1 point if you get it on the last. And let's give you.
Am I allowed to be
Whoa.
too specific though?
Oh,
You can be as specific as you
are
want.
these horror movies that have water skiers in them?
Oh, nice guess, but no.
Ooh.
Damn. Damn. I was like, screw it, eat it, Ryan.
So, our first movie, Jaws 3,
Mm.
or Jaws 3D.
I was gonna say put that D in it.
So bad.
Uh,
This one's so bad.
We're gonna
no,
put
the
the D in a
psychology of it.
Michael
God.
Caine's in the fourth
Seeing
one, right?
three. Yes.
Okay.
Michael
Yep.
Caine's in the fourth.
And Mario Van
The
Peebles.
Revenge.
Okay.
The Revenge. This one was hilariously bad. This one has Dennis Quaid in it, doesn't
Yep,
it?
Dennis
does.
Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr.
Yeah, it's got one of the best bar scenes from that era, I think, when they're playing that pushover game and he's flirting with her. There's some heavy petting going on there.
Yep.
I might have to stick with just 3 because this is a solid 3 of a movie anyway out of 5.
Okay.
So it's kind of like tough, but this is blind, so I'm tempted to drop it to 4. But part of me wants it to be a 2.
It's me. It could be anywhere on this list.
I'm gonna go
What
5.
do you say, Ryan?
I'm going with 5.
You're gonna go 5.
I'm going at 5. I'm gonna take a
God.
chance.
I hope you have some stinkers on this list. I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to go with 4. I was going to do 3, but I think 4 is a better bet.
All right.
The third dimension
Nice,
is
nice.
terror.
Ready?
Oh, it's 3D.
Ready.
There's Quaid's in it. Yeah.
Movie number 2, Cujo.
Oh, geez. Here you go, Ryan.
yes. All right. Okay. Animals that cause chaos. Guessing theme.
No.
Oh,
That's a nice
No.
guess too.
Yeah, it is a good guess. When he said it, I went, shit. What could this be? I'm more focused on the theme than caring what the rank is. Cujo the book and Cujo the
Well,
movie are very, like...
too different. As I'm still reading the book right now, and it's 2 different things, especially when you take out the specific scene of her cheating on her husband. Spoiler.
That's why she deserves
Spoilers.
to die. But she had a Coldplay concert. Just out of curiosity. You can't hide from that these days.
That
man.
was-
That's everywhere. They can't either.
That was her. That was.
Let me think here. I'm going to put Cujo at 3.
Ooh.
All right.
And I will be putting it at 2.
Hunter S. Ryan over here is going to pop it at 2. So he's got a 2 and a
2.
5. I got a 3 and a 4.
All right. I hope you guys don't regret these numbers. Psycho 2.
I can accept that.
Psycho 2 is pretty bad.
What?
Psycho 2 is pretty bad. Psycho 2 is pretty bad, man. I don't know. You're thinking of Psycho.
Well, I mean, I've seen Psycho 2 is better than 3. But then if it was Psycho 4, that would have been like questioning. I have a lot of connection with that one since a kid on Sci-Fi.
I don't have any problem dropping this one to 5.
All right.
I'm going to go.
I have no problem with that. What could this possibly have in common with Jaws 3 and Cujo,
I'm
though?
going with number
Is this the
4.
year they came out?
Oh, what did you say?
Oh,
Is this the year they came out? 80? Is it they all come out in 83?
It is.
yes.
It is.
Back in the black, baby.
Nice.
There you go.
Told you.
All right.
Curveballs.
Which means you should have an idea of what the next couple are.
I wish I
Oh,
could-
Christine.
Oh, another 2 King movies in 1 year. That's actually a solid. I'll put that at number 2. No problem with that either.
What else came out?
Oh, John.
What else?
John's gonna crush me with the first one.
What else came?
The number 1's gonna be the worst movie ever.
What else came out? Oh, you know what?
All right, no,
I'm going with.
Based on your maniacal laughter, Christine is now number 1.
Christine is number 1 on this one.
You're both putting it 1, huh?
Yeah, but the thing is,
Well, he might
did
have-
Halloween 3 come out in 1983?
Good. That could be a good 2.
That'd be a good 3.
All right. So
Halloween.
Halloween.
I think you guys might have dodged it a little bit because here is the last 1983 movie that I put on here.
Sleepaway Camp. Oh, that's a perfect 3.
Yeah, it's a way better 3 than it is a 2. And I'm really glad it's not a 1. So, all right. So, Christine, Sleepaway Camp, Cujo, Jaws 3, and I don't even know what I put for 5. Oh,
Psycho
Psycho
2.
2 for me.
All right. So I got Christine at 1, Cujo at 2, Sleepaway Camp at 3, Psycho 2 at 4, and number 5 is Jaws 3D. I'm kind of comfortable with that list.
Jaws 3
Oh.
Delta.
Jaws 3 Dongson.
You were
did-
you were so close, Ryan. You had so many things in the right spot, but your undervaluing of Jaws 3 cost you the point.
Oh, man.
Jaws. If I blind rank these, Jaws 3 might be as high as 2 because I
Okay.
love shitty shark movies.
That would have been number 1
Yeah, me too.
over Christine?
But like 4
Christine
and
wouldn't be
2
my number 1. I watch Christine to make fun of Christine.
I do.
Christine's not a very good movie. It is good, but it's not a very good movie. It's a good book. In the same way From a Buick 8's a good book. Like they're not peak King, but they're cool niche King novels.
I think it's just my love.
A living car that hates you is a cool
I
concept.
think it's my love of Carpenter because he directed it. I'm just a big Carpenter guy. On that note, on
Now-
that
yeah, I
one.
mean that's fair.
Just to note here also, I left so many 1983 movies I love off of this because I don't think you guys have seen any of them.
Name one.
Probably.
Like one Microwave Massacre.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely didn't.
Oh my! I'm putting Microwave Massacre on the schedule just because of the star.
Who stars in it?
Who's the star of Microwave
Nicolas
Massacre?
Cage.
Jackie Vernon, whose name maybe doesn't mean a lot to you, but when I tell you who he famously voiced from your childhood, it will.
He sounds so familiar.
Wait, hold on.
Winnie the Pooh. No, he wasn't Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, whoa! I won't spoil it, but that's
Who?
great.
No, you get. Come on.
That's great.
Jackie Vernon is the voice of Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman.
It's
All right.
it's such a cannibalistic joy.
I'm just.
I mean,
You know what?
it's fair.
It's basically Jack Frost before Jack Frost,
That.
minus a snowman. Just with
Yeah,
microwaves.
it's a snowman playing. It's a killer snowman who's not a snowman, but yeah,
They just.
Yeah, that's the crux right there.
yeah.
It's a killer snowman who's not a snowman.
Just melted. It's all right.
Sleepaway Camp starts out with this great lead-in moment with the. Do you guys want to go into directors or anything crazy? Because I don't feel like it's anybody important based on this movie.
Directed by
This is about it.
Robert Hitzik and written by Robert Hitzik. And
Yep.
if you want to get into it, the budget was $350,000 real quick, and they made a box office of 11 million, which is pretty big at
That's
that
great.
time.
That's well deserved.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that's box office. This movie is like cult classic now
Yep.
too. So it's probably one of the more successful low budget movies of all time.
You know the ending. The rumors about the ending brought people in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In '83, yeah, 100%. What happens, bro?
What?
That's radical. So
Everything.
it starts out with that great boat scene.
Everything's radical.
Yeah, right?
Everything's radical. I feel like in this movie, even if like the deaths are simple and stuff, they do have this line that they do cross, and it works for this film.
Yeah, I agree. The line like murdering children seemingly, or maiming them and murdering their dad.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then so the stupid boat drivers kill the father, and it seemingly sets it up for like a very Friday the 13th kind of feel and revenge killing
Yep.
sort of vibe.
Mhm.
But we find out later that really isn't the case here, which is cool. So we kind of zip to the future and we see the two children alive. We have a vague idea
Oh
that
no,
it's the same two
just one.
kids.
It's not.
Just one.
It's just one.
It's Angela.
Just one.
Yeah.
Just one. And then the brother is already, because the other kid died in the lake.
Yep.
Yeah, the other kid is the
Okay,
cousin.
That was the floating.
Ricky is Angela's cousin.
Got it, not brother.
Yeah.
So then, how did I miss that? I actually watched this movie with like fidelity. So, but the part I'm trying to get to break through to is the wacky ass mother.
Dr.
Who's
Martha
in that house? Who's a
Thomas.
fucking nut. Who's a
Aunt-
nutcase?
Aunt Martha.
Yeah, Aunt Martha. It's Angela's Aunt Martha, and she's a whack a doodle.
It's just
boy.
the motion. Do I leave the stove on?
She's a real
Mhm.
interesting character. She's got the whack, and they lean heavy into it. I thought it was overacting or something, but nope. That was the character they
Yeah,
created.
no, she's just there to lay it on that thick.
Oh, it was thick.
Yeah.
It creeps you
And-
out as an audience member, just how she talks and just like she's
Mhm.
very absent-minded. Like she hopes
Yeah.
there's sense in there, but there's nothing going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very important, and you don't realize it when you're watching until the end. It's very important to note that she is a doctor,
Yep.
and she's responsible for the medical records that go to the camp.
Ah. Boo-doo-doo-doo.
It seems like such a nothing bit of detail when you watch the movie, especially the first time you watch it. You're just, oh, okay, Dr. Martha, whatever. It's very significant.
And for the listeners, that's going to be important later, so keep that in your back pocket, the fact that she's in charge of that little bit. We're in the house, nice house.
Very
the
nice.
two kids are there, seemingly normal-ish, and they're off to camp. It's time to go to camp. And we zip right over to the camp.
Yep.
It's like real quick.
And this camp is run by the cast of an adult movie.
Yeah. like for real. There's so much gratuitous skin right off the bat. The girls, only one girl in particular is like showing off the cleavage all the
Mhm.
time and stuff. But they're the guys. It's ridiculous
Ronnie.
what's going on.
Ronnie in those shorts.
Yeah.
Ronnie's shorts have less fabric than my entire my underwear. Like I have bigger underwear than his shorts.
Probably. Mine go down lower. My boxer briefs for sure. Think AC Slater in a size small, and that's kind of what we're looking at with
An
Ronnie.
extra small,
Uh,
right?
he's jacked. He's also like the voice of reason, which makes his attire really weird.
He's the he really becomes like the stabilizing factor in this whole movie.
Really does.
Eventually, he has a moment very early on where I question him when he brings Angela to the chef, the very perverted, very, very
molesty
chef. When he brings Angela to the chef, I have that brief moment where it's like, does he know?
I don't think he does. I think
Does he know?
he's too.
I don't think he does either.
He's not like, I don't think he sees that. I think he sees like, I'm here for the kids. We're here to do a good job, and I'm not going to look at the seediness. The chef crews know. What's the chef's name? Artie? Yeah, Artie's crew knows. And I'm presuming Mel kind of has an idea, but I don't think Mel knows either. Who's the owner of the camp.
I don't even know if the chef's crew knows that it's anything more than him talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I mean would be kind of enough to set off some alarm bells for me, because he says some of the grossest stuff you could possibly say when these little kids are walking by him.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's that guy. He ends up in the freezer with Angela.
Yeah, he does.
And immediately like, you're a sweet little thing, and starts going into that route. And she Angela's him, and what you guys are going to notice if you've seen the film, or if you've seen the film, or notice if you watch it, is that Angela doesn't talk a whole lot.
No.
Angela's real quiet.
And stares a hole through
She's got
you.
the trauma. Yeah, she just looks at you. The vacant stare. And the guy's like, okay, so he just immediately goes to, like what John's doing. He immediately goes to taking the pants off. And and then the cousin, not
Richie.
Ronnie, cousin
Ricky
comes in, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And the chef jacks him up.
He's like, "Listen, you little
Takes him back
shit,
down real quick."
Yeah, little shit. Don't say
You saw
anything."
nothing. And then did you notice he's still putting his belt on when he walks out of the storeroom, and he's back in the kitchen?
Yep.
And the camp counselor or the camp director's watching, like, "Whoa, these two kids ran away scared, and this guy's just putting his
Smoking a
pants on."
cigar near open food. Very healthy.
I think it's possible Lou knows. I think the camp director knows.
Yeah, definitely.
And
he tries to keep a lid on these things.
Yeah, which is his whole character is keeping a lid on things.
And being a little molesty himself, but like legally molesty.
Yeah.
Potentially legally molesty.
Yeah.
We're not 100% sure that these aren't high school kids being counselors at this camp.
Which you would think they would probably be, except for they're all on steroids. But as we move through this scene, we get right up to our first kill, which is nice. They don't waste time. And that's something you're going to like about the movie, is that pacing is really good.
Yeah, it is.
So he gets up and to put the corn in. I enjoyed watching a man shucking corn and throwing out like a whole garbage pail full of corn husks. That was cool, by the way. Brought me back. But he gets on this giant pot, and it's boiling, and he's ready to start boiling the corn. And then, what happens, guys?
His stool gets pulled out from under him, and
the water
slowly
falls.
too, while he's still like, what are you doing here, you little shit?
Oh yeah, and that was nice. That was a nice pacing, because you just see the chair like inching back slowly and slowly, and you see his fingers are like loosening up. For film goer, it's a nice scene to watch, because you're like, is something gonna happen? You're hoping something's gonna happen. Is it not gonna happen?
Tense,
Oh yeah. And then once that water falls, those are some of the best like 80s like makeup I've ever seen, with the scalding. It's some of the best makeup for 83, I think, on a low budget film.
It was pretty
good. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
It's pretty good. And they keep the camera on him for a while. He's screaming for a solid 15
Yeah,
seconds.
he is.
hmm
Before they pan to him in a stretcher with it, like totally wrapped up, and then the medical guy, the examiner, whatever you want to call him, some dude in a suit who's like supposed to be a doctor, I guess. He's like, he'll third-degree burns over his whole body. His face will never be the same. He's going through the whole dragnet voice. It's kind of out of place in this movie.
hmm
And then we swing into like the rest of the camp. The tone has now been set.
Yes.
Yep.
But they're still hiding it.
Ben gets a quick promotion to head chef, and really, that's the last you see of Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
doesn't do anything else.
He gets his promotion, he gets his $50 raise, and he's convinced to keep the accident quiet and labeled as an accident, and just move on with things.
Yeah, he's happy. The
For 50
other workers are
bucks.
happy with their $15 a day,
Mm-hmm.
and off we go. And then I think we swing into getting to know the campers and the counselors a bit. There's the girls' bunk and there's the boys' bunk. And well, I think there's two each. I'm not sure, but I know we only spend time in one per gender.
Yeah.
And I think there's two each, and each one has their counselors. I don't remember any of their names.
So we have in Angela's bunk, it's Meg and Susie.
Yep.
Meg is the kind of bitchy one, and Susie is the sweet, caring counselor.
And that's the one.
Yeah. Hey, kid, cut it out.
And Meg is the one.
You hear that a lot.
And Meg is the one that Mel's after, just to say.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And I mean, he doesn't have to try very hard either. I mean, he barely chips away at that ice, and at the end of the movie, let's have dinner.
Just a cigar.
Yep.
A cigar and a comb over.
Yeah.
And I don't have the counselor for Ricky's bunk written down, but that guy goes immediately to betting on camper softball games.
That was like my favorite counselor, man.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Yeah.
Give me that knife. Like, guy's got a Bowie knife.
Gene, it was Gene, right?
Gene, yes.
I think so.
That scene's so great because all he does is he's like, I'm just going to put it under my clothes in the shelf. I'm expecting none of you to touch it. That's how much trust you have.
You'll see this at the end of camp, guys. It's like, or hear me out.
And it's fun. It's funny too because the two bunks they focus on both have kids that are bullied in very different ways.
Yes.
Because Angela is bullied in the girls' bunk, and it's like they're heartless with her.
Oh yeah, they are.
But
they're pretty rough.
In Ricky's bunk, it's Mozart. And they do the typical boy stuff to Mozart,
shaving.
Like,
they don't really go over the line, but they screw with him.
The tricking him into doing a sit up right in another camper's bare ass.
It's called the atomic sit up, by the way. We definitely did that in wrestling in high school. It was fun.
And then he gets the shaving cream, and he's like their pranks on Mozart are good natured, almost, whereas the girls are just ruthless.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're mean, catty and mean. They warm up to it, though. It takes them a while before Angela starts to be a problem to them, just for existing. But it slowly builds. They just kind of deal with, exist with her in the beginning. Then they get catty and jealous later on. Why do you get to talk to boys? So Angela doesn't talk to anybody until she talks to Gene. Paul. So she talks to Paul.
Now it's Gene Simmons
at first, and that's their flirting. Yeah,
Paul Stanley.
That's their flirting camp romance. That's their little. They could all be named after Kiss members in this movie, and we would have never noticed.
Probably it. There's definitely an ace there.
But yeah, is there? That'd be cool. But yeah, so they it peats along that way, and meanwhile they're just going through stuff. We're getting to know them. Real 80s vibes with the baseball game or the softball game, I should say, and stuff like that.
The softball game reveals that Ricky is probably the biggest trash talker in the 80s ever.
Yes.
Yeah, which is saying a lot considering
his mouth runs that whole game.
Yep, and it's funny. And the other bunk loses, and then we swing right to nighttime activities or whatever, and then
first
there's
canteen.
more character building. And then their first canteen, and then skinny dipping.
Yep, sneaking off to skinny dip, and one of those guys has a rad Blue Oyster Cult shirt.
Yeah, actually, I noticed that too. It's awesome.
Was it?
But before they get to the skinny dipping,
where was that? I missed it.
And talking about the T-shirt. Well, you pull it up on the Google there.
It's-
But there's two boys who try to get after Angela and hit on her a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't go well because she's a mute, and
Yep.
they get all pissy and start making fun of her.
Yep. Yep. And Ricky in his badass painter's hat comes over to defend her and gets in one of Ricky's many fights this summer.
Yeah, he's a scrappy kid. Now we get out to, okay, now we're going skinny dipping,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple kids smoking weed. The two kids who beat up or fought Ricky. I wouldn't say
Yep.
beat him up. They fought
Kenny
him.
and Mike.
Yeah, Kenny and Mike. And now the boys are trying to get the girls to go skinny dipping. The girls aren't skinny dipping, so the boys just drop trout and start running down the dock. You see a lot of man ass.
Yep. Skinny dipping turns into a sausage party.
Mm-hmm. Just
Sadly.
the opposite of what you want.
Yeah. I mean, they do manage to convince a couple of girls to go out on canoes with them.
Yep.
Mhm.
And Kenny and flip the boat on her.
Yeah. Because Kenny is not intelligent enough to recognize a good thing when he has it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of, coasting out into the lake and, getting some alone time with a girl, he's got to be a clown and rock the boat and flip it and dunk them both in the water.
Rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat, baby.
And he pisses her off. She swims back.
Yep.
And he's under the canoe because why wouldn't you want to
Yeah,
be under
I
the
didn't
canoe
under-
in the middle of the lake at
And he
night?
calls her name while he's like, "Oh, you coming back under?" I'm like, "You just threw her in the water. She's gone, man. She's gone." But
Yeah.
Maybe that was supposed to be what he was trying to get after. Get her in the water. They both go under and start making out. But it didn't come through in the movie at all. That
No.
way.
it didn't come through to
he's-
him either.
Fair point.
No, I think it's a pretty simple rule at that point. If you have a girl out in a canoe with you, you have a better shot in the canoe than you do if you flip the canoe over.
It's true.
I mean, fair.
It's fair.
Fair. But yeah, so we get a little tug, and then somebody pops up. No,
Yeah,
not even
no.
a tug, just the pop
Yep.
up.
Just
Yep.
a little
And he
pop up.
goes, he goes, what are you doing here? And then
Mm-hmm.
immediately just you see somebody shove his head underwater. At that point we know the person has dark hair, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
Which takes Paul out of the equation. Because I suspected Paul for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first official murder of camp season. The drowning of douchebag.
Well, would it be this? Oh, I'd say the
Yeah.
second, right? Because Artie
I mean,
got burned.
Already lives.
Oh, well.
Artie leaves the camp alive, and they never revisit his fate.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair on
But
that.
the last time you see Artie is alive.
All right, I was
Mhm.
going ahead of myself. I thought he wouldn't have made it, especially during that time with all those burns. Like,
I mean, it's entirely likely he didn't, but it's not shown. So,
fair. All right.
There you
So
go.
Kenny.
and with the lore of this movie that we'll get into a little later, I think it's fair if you don't see somebody actually dead on screen, they're not dead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point because they do a good job of showing you everything. We'll go through all the murders because that's basically the plot anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from here out, it's basically just people dying.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get up the next morning. Now you got a dead kid. Now it's a problem.
Mhm.
So
And it's ruled an accident.
Which nobody. Yeah. Well, it's Mel Guy is very, very firm with the cop. Oh no, this is an accident.
the cop gets annoyed with him too.
Yeah.
like, this isn't
but
an
Mel's gonna Mel.
Mel's gonna
Mhm.
melt.
And then we just swing into most places would probably like maybe the 50-50 shot of shutting down at one drowning, I'd say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we continue on with our normal activities after
Mhm.
that.
And from this point on is really where Meg and Judy's tormenting of Angela picks way up.
Because Angela speaks from here and
Mhm.
talks to Paul, and
Mhm.
they're starting to get a little. Paul's really going after her, but he's being real sweet about it.
Yeah, he is.
And so she's chatting with him.
For a while.
Yeah, for a
hot
little
second.
bit.
And that makes who's Boobs McGee again? I forget who.
Judy.
I'm trying to not say a mean name. Judy, yeah. Judy's the first one to get jealous that she gets to not do camp activities and
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
talk
I mean, which is pretty standard for someone who walks around with a shirt with their name on it.
She forgets her name, okay? She kept forgetting her
I mean,
name.
she
She's
might.
got the 80s jersey. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't bring up, and I wanted to. The Jersey accents in this movie are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And they,
Camp Pine
they
Barrens.
yeah, and this wasn't filmed in Jersey.
No?
No,
They just,
Glens
what, do they ship
Falls.
them all in? Oh, okay.
Glens
So they
Falls.
shipped a bunch of New
Yeah.
Yorkers up there, or they
Yep.
just told them to do the accents?
I think they shipped them up there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
they do that during the regular summer. They send city kids up to camps up there
Yep.
all the time. So,
Yep.
so maybe it wasn't Jersey; it's New York.
New
Yeah.
York.
When it gets that heavy, though, I think Jersey. It's like comically deep New York accents.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, where we go from here, guys? Who's
Oh.
the next one?
We have the increase in the Paul Angela relationship
Yep.
when he kisses her. She's sort of into it.
She doesn't have a
Like,
response.
she's not.
She's just like,
She's not an unwilling participant in the kiss, but she also.
I gotta go.
All right, bye.
it was weird.
Yeah, just scoots away.
Very deadpan.
She's also gonna get shit from Judy as well.
Yeah.
But I guess she doesn't know that. We do, though.
Yeah. And you've got now Angela won't go swimming for, I mean, obvious reasons that are apparently not known to anyone at the camp except Ricky.
Yeah.
So, the first time she refuses to go in the water, you get Meg yelling at her and shaking her, and, Meg gets in trouble for it, and Judy blames Angela for that. But, you sort of start really escalating the attack now.
Yep. And it leads to, technically, well, in a side note, in between that, as it's leading to that, as they're walking around, Angela is berated. I think I'm saying the wrong word, but barraged. I think barrage is a better word, of water balloons come crashing down on
The
her.
barrage of water balloons,
Yeah.
yep.
Come crashing down on her, and Ricky comes out, starts bad mouthing him. Mel's questioning him because he's like, maybe he's been up to some no good, and then Paul's the savior, murdering. I like Mel's the Columbo of the Sleepaway Camp universe. Let me just ask you one more thing.
I feel like Mel is closer to Mr. Roper.
Yeah, I'm with that. Chasing Suzanne Summers around.
So one of the boys that pelts her with water balloons is Billy.
Yep.
And Billy's our next to go.
Doesn't Billy catch the bees?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
In the stall.
Yeah, Billy the bees.
Billy lags behind some friends who are going to play some game or something. I forget what, but
yeah,
because he has to take a wicked dump.
Which is the exact line. I have to take a wicked dump, guys.
He's from Boston.
Yeah.
He needs to take a wicked dump. So he shows up into the stall and he's doing what people do. He's fighting a little bit. Probably not a lot of fiber at camp on the mess hall.
No.
And you see the is a knife. What cuts the screen? Something cuts the screen.
It's
right?
Mozart.
First you get the mop handle through the door handles.
Yep.
So he can't get out. Then you get the knife through the screen, and then you get the bees.
The bees.
They tosses the nest in there.
Not the bees.
And they get them. It's bees or wasps or hornets. Don't be fickle with us people.
Yeah,
you know what we're talking about.
It's
Stingy
something
bastards.
that stings.
Oh,
And they sting the shit out of him.
And
he's got a cool death scene too.
Yeah,
or
he
like,
does.
I don't know what you would call that. Corpse. Yeah, his is pretty
his
good
makeup is really good. Yeah.
with the bees feeding on his face. It's
We skipped for the douchebag in the lake too. The snake coming out of his nose. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Kenny, yeah.
They like their close-ups.
Yeah.
That was cool too.
Because they were always talking about water snakes throughout that whole scene, and they were like, "There it is.
On a
There's the water
on a
snake."
$350,000 budget, those are some good makeup effects. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a couple people they paid probably not a lot of money, and they worked very hard on that. So after that, after we kill him, what happens then?
Well, we have a very suspicious Mel who is still kind of covering up murders, but is now in his mind starting to seem pretty convinced as to who he thinks is killing kids.
Yeah, he is.
And
Who's killing them?
the blame from him is firmly starting to fall on Ricky.
Yeah, he definitely thinks it's Ricky at this point.
yeah.
And then now we have to circle back to they don't shut down camp, which is hilarious to me. Kids don't actually start leaving until the next murder, right?
No,
I think they've, yeah,
I think they stay. I think they're still there, right?
I think they're here at this point.
I think
this is about when they start to leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's 2 dead kids now.
Mhm.
1 dead, almost dead chef.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're getting close. I forget who's the next to die. Because now things start escalating. The tensions are rising faster. Angela's getting bullied hard.
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you get the implosion of her relationship with Paul.
Yep.
As they sneak off to the beach at night, and they make out a little bit, but Paul's pushing it too far, and she pushes him off and runs off, and
Paul gets to be a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Paul falls very easily into Judy's arms.
Which is hilarious. She's such a stereotype too. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Angela sees Judy kissing Paul and gets very upset with Paul. And they continue doing this until we get to the scene where they're going to throw Angela in the lake. Basically, that's like the next step up in tension,
Yes.
right?
And
Mel is kind of pressing Ricky while Meg and Judy drag Angela to the lake and throw her in.
And Mel
There it
Mel
is.
says something interesting in that scene. He goes, every time your cousin's in trouble, you rescue her, and then someone's dead.
Which is
It's
interesting.
a really good foreshadowing line right there.
At this point in the movie, I knew they were leading me down a path to think it was Ricky. I knew it probably wasn't Ricky. I also knew I had no idea who it
Mozart.
was. I knew Angela was a possibility. I was like, so I just sort of stopped thinking about who it could be at that point and waited for the reveal.
Okay.
Because it didn't matter enough for me to care.
Yep.
Dumb movie.
So, and this time there's no consequences for Meg.
No.
She's given the night off to a night off to enjoy herself, which is apparently to flirt with and arrange to have dinner with old Mel.
And
Yeah, Mel has been trying to get in her pants.
yeah, creepily, very
And
creepily.
He's an ugly man too. He's not like an attractive older man. He's a very
He's
ugly
rich.
man.
And is he?
Oh, that
No,
he
he's
acts,
camp
he acts
director
rich.
rich.
He acts rich.
He
Like,
controls the payroll.
but like,
Yeah.
but
One
like
extra quarter.
his Corton clothes are pretty interesting too, because it's just like Caddyshack golf outfit.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much nailed it.
His bright green pants and his members only jacket.
So
He's
the
cliche.
question is, when he gets that hat, does he get a free bowl of soup too? That's the question.
Yes. Yes. So
this is actually where stuff gets cool though.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is where things really spiral. You have Eddie taking his little campers out camping in the woods in the middle of a murder spree, which is probably not good.
Yeah.
Good decision making.
Not a great job, Eddie.
And they are aware of the murders and stuff, and he does question. He tries to get out of it, and they're like, "Nope, we're good. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck."
Mm-hmm. You have Paul continuing to try to apologize to Angela.
Yep.
And Angela telling him to meet her at the water after the social.
Which I liked too, by the way. That was fun. I was like, oh, yay. Then we swing to the kids, one of the kids being cold, or maybe 2 of them being cold. So
Yeah.
Eddie chooses to take those 2 back to the car and leaves the 3 there with the hatchet.
Yep.
Unattended.
Unattended, it's fine. Bear, murderer.
Counselor training was not very intensive at this camp.
It was not part
I
of
don't
the
think it is at
budget.
any camp, to be honest with you.
This was definitely like, hey, don't get the kids killed. If you do, let's make sure it's an accident.
Right.
Oh, they definitely had an accident with that hatchet. trying to cut up more wood
Oh yeah.
to put.
But this is where the movie almost leads you into a scenario where there are two killers.
Yeah.
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 Because
That
wherever
crossed my mind.
wherever Eddie took those kids camping is far enough that they need a car
Mm-hmm.
to get to. Meanwhile, while they're out camping, you have Meg going to shower and get cleaned up for her dinner with Mel. And
That's where she catches it.
she gets a little psychoed.
Right through the wall.
Yep, she gets a little psychoed. Psychoed adjacent. That's probably the hardest scene as far as like hard murders to watch, because the knife is there and then it's dragging
Yeah.
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 or up. I forget which
And
direction.
again, the makeup on the corpse after the next time you flash to it is
Very good.
you know, that cut all the way down her spine.
Yeah, it's
It's
wild.
really well done.
I mean, the amount of strength involved once we talk about the killer and stuff like that. But still, because it's not easy to do that. You could, I bet you, the person who killed in the movie couldn't do that to a trout, let alone a human. That's not easy to drag a knife down a person's body for like 2.5 feet. But yeah, then she teleports out and through the woods, uses the unattended hatchet, murders the 3 innocent little kids. I felt like was kind of didn't need it.
That one was unnecessary. And then you're back at camp
if you go
for Judy.
I was gonna say real quick, if you go back, those little kids antagonized Angela by throwing sand on her.
Yeah, they did. After she got thrown in the water, the kids threw sand on her.
So even though it was
so it's very brief.
Yeah.
It's a small offense, but you've kind of picked up at this point in the movie that there is no offense that is too small for the vengeance of our killer.
Yeah. For sure.
So you get the dead littles, and you get Judy getting her turn.
Yeah, Judy's is rough. That's a rough one. That's rough.
But
I
again,
kind of like the next one.
With the curling iron.
Yeah, we shouldn't glance over that one. I texted you guys while I was watching this movie, updating you on where I was, not realizing. Well, Ryan had seen it, but he was going to rewatch it. The curling iron one, I immediately shot them a note and was like, "You, this one's wild.
That one's rough."
Now, I'll circle back to this when we get to the end, but this goes back to Artie too, with the lore of this movie and how they've built it in the years since. If you don't see them die on screen, do not assume that they're dead.
So you think Judy's alive?
Judy is definitely alive.
He's very adamant
she's
about
in one
that.
of the sequels.
Judy is dead. No, but we'll get to Judy.
Okay.
Like I said,
she could have just been curling her hairs, because it's the 80s.
I mean, it's pretty clear that curling iron goes in an orifice.
Yeah.
That's not the mouth.
Your impeccable pronunciation of that word just made me vomit a little bit in my mouth.
The orifice?
Oh, yeah. She's held down by a 115 pound at soaking wet 115 pound person, and then has they clip it like they do the pap, what is it, not the pap, the whatever vagina test they do where they put the thing in. What are those duckbill things called, doctor?
Speculums?
Speculum? She tilted her head. I think you might be close, John. He's correct.
Yeah.
She said it's the hand motion.
I know my women's reproductive health.
You do, it's right. Somebody close to you is also in the biz. But yeah, so that happens. That's disturbing, but she's a terrible character, so it's fun to watch her get hurt. And then we swing away.
Mel finds dead Meg.
Yep.
He's very upset he's not getting laid.
Yep.
And is convinced it's Ricky. So he's stalking Ricky. Eddie goes back to his campsite and finds all the dead littles.
Yep.
And
that is also occurring.
Mel finds Ricky
and beats the crap
gets
out
him
of
in a headlock. Mel beats the living crap out of Ricky.
Yeah, he
does.
does beat the hell
That
out of him.
is, that's the most brutal part of this whole movie.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
the assault that this 50-something-year-old man puts on a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Well, you'd think Ricky would be able to beat him up, given Ricky's track record. I was hoping he'd put up a better
I
fight.
think he was just shocked.
Mel's not exactly imposing.
Yeah, a case where Mel is, he's just stunned that this is happening.
Yeah.
And like, I think there's some amount of respect in Ricky also.
Mhm.
Like, I can't imagine he grows up with the mother he grew up with and doesn't have any respect for people,
Yeah.
for elders.
Fair.
I feel like Ricky's
fair.
a good kid, just, hot at it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, so Ronnie finds out about the dead littles,
Mm-hmm.
and, he takes
That's not
over at
great,
this
yeah.
point. Ronnie takes over, and, he gets the rest of the campers in a location where they're safe and protected, and he and Susie go out looking for Angela, who's missing, and Paul, who's missing, and Ricky.
Don't forget about Mel getting shot in the arrow through the throat.
Oh, we're there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're there.
right
I
on
was
it.
like, wait a minute,
It
did we
just pans
just?
away and comes
All
back.
right, I thought it happened immediately.
That's my favorite death in the movie.
That's a good death.
It reminded me of Creep Show with the
It-
Indian.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Friday
it
the
also
13th.
reminds me of, Kevin Bacon and
Mhm.
Friday the 13th too. Very similar, except his is fired right through his neck.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
And that's it for our friend Mel.
Yeah, and then at that point you're just like, all right, let's wrap it up. Let's just kill
Mhm.
the rest of them while we're
Yeah.
at it.
You
Can
get
you imagine they're going to continue killing campers? But I think Mel is the last one before the reveal, isn't
Yep.
he?
well, the reveal, the one who's dead in the reveal too.
Reveal.
You get Officer Shoe Polish Mustache is back, and he's shocked.
Well, there's a lot of dead kids.
Yeah.
It's a
There are
lot of dead kids.
kids now. I forgot
This
how
would be
many dead
national
kids there
news
were
today.
Oh.
National news. People would be talking about this for weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weeks.
He's probably just
Running through this.
he's
crap.
probably thinking in his head, I warned him. I told him. He didn't shut it down. I have to clean this. This is a lot of paperwork. He's like
A lot of paperwork. He's going to be working on that nonstop. And that in Glens Falls, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. So we swing around. Everybody's getting together, and they're, where do they go, John?
So Ronnie and Susie find Angela.
Yeah.
And Angela is sitting on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
naked,
Mm-hmm.
singing,
Mm-hmm.
and stroking a dead and decapitated Paul's head.
Yep.
Yep. And then you're like, okay, good reveal, great ending, button it up. Nope, you're not
Nope.
done.
No.
And then Angela stands up,
Yep.
and you start with this face,
Yeah, that face alone would have been enough, but they double down on it.
and then you pan down.
It keeps going. And the camera backs away. You don't pan away from
No.
her face stays with
Yeah,
it the
yeah.
whole time,
Yeah.
which is great. It's great for
And
your
you
psyche.
realize it was Peter the whole time.
Yep. Angela
Peter-
was not Angela. Angela was her brother.
Because Dr. Martha
And-
wanted a girl.
Dr. Martha doctored medical records. So nobody at the camp knew she was sending a boy as a girl.
So much fraud
Which is phenomenal.
and identity theft.
So much fraud. She's sitting there, and you get the flashback. Oh my God, her face is a GIF right above what I texted Kim. So, you get that whole talk, and then she says that line that she wanted the boy, and you put it together right away. Okay, she's a dude. That's part of why she was not having an easy time kissing the other dudes, because she's not necessarily gay.
Mhm.
She's been made to be a boy.
Mhm.
I watched this with my wife up until the last 10 minutes, and then she went to bed. She wasn't invested in the movie anyway. She was like, I'm going to bed. So she goes upstairs, and then but she wanted to know the ending, so I texted her the picture of the GIF of Angela's face, like
Yeah.
John's shirt. And I said, the movie ends with us finding out that she was a boy, and the wacky mother character made her a dude. We see her dong in this clip.
Which is a dwarf stunt double.
Is it really?
It is,
Standing
yeah.
over her? That must have been super uncomfortable.
Just screaming.
That's the most interesting bit of trivia we brought out on this show.
It was a. I got no comment on that. It was just, it's a dwarf. Thank God it's a
Yeah.
dwarf.
She's like a child. She can't be over 18.
No, she's about the age she's playing in the movie at that point, Felissa Rose.
How they swing getting a half naked little person to stand in a way that looks like it's her.
I didn't
That
go
is
into I didn't
morally
go
questionable.
I didn't go into all of the effects. I would imagine there is either some movie magic putting heads on bodies or just makeup.
Yeah, I would hope.
I don't believe that Felissa Rose stood near a dwarf's dick.
I'm hoping not.
No, I think.
But it's so that makes the scene a little bit more like I can understand why it looked like that because she's standing really rigid too.
I think what they did was that they had a makeup artist create her like a replica of her face, and then he wore it as a mask. That's because that mouth isn't moving.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah. So, I did promise Judy. So if you have this fancy little Scream Factory Sleepaway Camp release, or simply YouTube, and you would like to search for Judy Sleepaway Camp, you get a 15-minute Judy short.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
That's filmed in 2014 and is clearly the 30-year, 40-year jump and the 30-year jump into the future.
Okay.
With a very much alive Judy. Now, we're not talking Oscar level. We're talking the three of us could make this type of short film. But Judy is alive, and she has channeled her bitchiness in a better direction. Judy in the short is an avenging killer who takes out deadbeat dads.
Nice.
All right.
With one of her weapons of choice, a curling iron.
Double nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
so Judy gets a little redemption in, and I mean this is canon. They included it on an official release of the movie. So.
And this is on the Scream Factory, you said?
Yep. It's on
Cool,
YouTube
man.
too. I think I sent you guys the link.
I have the Scream Factory version.
Nice.
I really,
Yeah,
I got to take a look after we're done. I think I got the same one because does it have the cover with the like if you open it has the original poster on the inside with the shoe and the knife going through?
It sure does.
Then that's the one I have because I flipped it around. So that's the cover on my DVD because I mean the artistry of the newer cover is cool, but I got to go with the original poster. I am taking a look at that short after we're done, gentlemen.
Nice. All right, so that's essentially Sleepaway Camp, you guys.
That is
we
Sleepaway
gave
Camp.
dong and all. It's a very dong-heavy podcast these last
Hey,
few
Dong
months.
Mania.
The dongs.
Some have heavy dongs. This dong's not quite so heavy. It's a dwarf dong. But all dongs are great. So enjoy this movie. If you like the crying game, another great dong moment. Very similar to this dong moment, with less murder and more gaslighting. Definitely watch the crying game too. But yeah, that's Sleepaway Camp. We're going to get into our top 5.
This week, guys, I did top 5 horror camp films. I was going to have fun with and mention these 3 movies, which I will. Camp Nowhere. What was the other one? Meatballs is definitely one, but Heavyweights and Camp Nowhere. Watch those. I think I mentioned Camp Nowhere already, but that's one of my favorites. So I'll mention that.
Salute Your Shorts gets an honorable mention for a TV show.
Oh yeah, come on now.
Camp Anawana.
Oh,
we hold you in our hearts.
Bring down my
The
shorts.
more we think about you, or no, when we think about you, it makes us wanna.
That was.
And then he yells at him. Forgot that guy's name was like Booger or something, right?
Yeah, I've only seen real quick 2 episodes of that, and Jada talks about that religiously, and I'm more on the Pete.
That show.
I'm on the
man.
Pete and Pete end of it.
Okay, that's fine too, though. Pete and Pete's good quality. I partied with him at a fish festival. Young Pete.
Okay, Danny Tamarelli.
Yeah, he was a good hang. He was a really good hang.
He is so underrated. He is funny, but I'll tell you this: these 5 movies, I wouldn't say underrated, but they definitely capture the vibe of all camping and everything. And to start it off, we're going to start off with Friday the 13th Part 2. Now, I could mention number 1, but they're really setting up the camp at that point. Besides the beginning, Part 2, you see the campers come through, and this is the first appearance of Jason. They retcon it. They say that he was living in the woods. He watched his mom get decapitated. Spoilers. And all hell breaks loose from there, and we get one of the longest, craziest franchise. Quick nod to Jason X. That camp scene is awesome too. To which,
Yeah.
just it's not even the women. It's the bag scene when he crashes the bags over their heads. It's just great horror. But I'm gonna go into number 4, and number 4 is a favorite of mine. It's The Final Girls. I think we've mentioned it before, where
It's nice.
oh god, the lead actress, Tasa Farmiga. I'm messing her name up, but she
You definitely you got the last name. I
Did
don't
I?
know if that's how you pronounce the first name.
try and tease. Oh well,
Farmiga. She's related to Vera. I think it's her sister.
okay, from The Conjuring. Yep, from The Conjuring.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right. Well, she's great in this, and the
Wow.
whole.
You guys are something
Well, I'm
else.
gonna say the movie's great. If you've never seen it, the whole premise is like Last Action Hero. She and her friends get transported into her mom's slasher film, who she lost in a car crash, and she kind of reconnects with her mom through this character, and they try to survive because her mom is one of the victims. So she's like, not on my watch. But then we're going into number 3, Kearns' favorite, and one of my favorites, and that's Cabin Fever. Just
Oh, nice.
don't jump in the water. That's all I'm gonna say. We've talked about this before. Oh God, the bathtub scene. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Just watch that bathtub scene of just the burns. But then
Sean from Boy Meets World. Don't do it, Sean.
Ryder Strong definitely made a mistake. Not making the movie. He definitely made a few mistakes in that film as that character, though. But he's the only one that survives. So he
Yeah.
had to do something right.
The Listerine works.
Yes.
It's like a commercial.
Just wash it away. Gets that
If
tartar
you have
off.
questionable intercourse with a possibly ill supermodel, pour Listerine on your dong, and you'll be fine.
100% alcohol.
I like how he screams, though. Doesn't he scream or something? He's like, ah! Pouring it on there.
It's the burn.
I mean, I can't imagine that feels good.
No,
Yeah, good point.
it was cool mint, but the mint wasn't cool. But this movie's pretty cool. I am a big fan of this. Again, we've talked about this, and that's Cabin in the Woods. The whole
Cabin in the Woods is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
That's 2?
That's number 2. I mean, they're going camping. Same thing with number 3, Cabin Fever. They're going camping. But the thing is like that whole opportunity of choice, right? Based on this history and finding these little knickknacks in the cellar, and it's like it could be zombies, it could be Pinhead, it could be a killer clown, it could be a merman. Anything can happen while you're camping, especially when it comes to horror. To which the number 1, it's the classic. It's The Evil Dead. Come on, they go
Yeah.
camping. I mean,
Good choice.
it's just like it's got that camping vibe. They're in the woods. It's low budget, and I feel like you can do the slasher genre. It's cool for camp films, but people expect it. When you do something with like spirits and possession, and everything gets turned over, listen, I'll still admit it to this day. I am still afraid of the woman in the cellar. That woman scared the shit out of
Yeah.
me when I was a kid. I ran out of the room.
That's fair.
I pushed my uncle out of the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they thought it was hilarious to show me this film at like 7 years old in the middle of the night. And
Oh,
all of a
that's
sudden,
sweet.
well, they thought it was hilarious. And as she popped out,
At least they didn't show you the tree scene.
no, that passed. That passed. I was like, what the hell's going on? They're like, don't worry, the tree's gonna keep her alive. I'm like, but what's going? Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. She's just
Yeah.
possessed.
Actually, at 7, you probably don't understand the tree scene at all.
No, I was just like,
True.
what the hell's going on? But when the woman pops out of the cellar, I got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, that you understand
Oh
that.
hell yeah! I didn't go in the cellar for a week.
Swallow your soul.
Come here.
All right. That's a good list,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
That's a good
I'm
list.
curious in
Yeah.
hearing John's though. I want to see how he went with it.
Yeah, me too.
I had a bunch of ones I was trying to work up, but I settled for sort of an easy one since Sleepaway Camp was filmed in Glens Falls, which is in the upper Hudson Valley. I went with 5 other horror movies filmed in the Hudson Valley.
Ooh, okay.
Okay,
I'm curious.
very
in this.
nice.
Or at least partially filmed, I guess, in some cases, as is number 5. A Quiet Place,
Yep.
which is filmed in New Paltz and Beacon.
I did not know that. A Quiet Place was filmed in New Paltz and Beacon.
And can I give you a?
I'm just gonna shout these.
I'm going to
out.
give you a quick tidbit on that too. Where up in Pauling they were filming too.
It's a cool
Yes,
story, bro.
yes. Pauling I didn't count because I don't know if I count Pauling as Hudson Valley.
All right.
We
Kind
count.
of removed.
Yeah, you're far away from. You're pretty far from the Hudson, but you're in the valley.
Yeah.
If you're part of where the glacier cut out.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we'll do it real quick. Aliens have invaded, and they're specially drawn to sound, and a family attempts to survive and stay quiet.
An unusually sexy family.
And is somehow that deep into an alien invasion, they have not figured out what they figured out in day 1, that the aliens don't like water.
Well,
is the girl from the Quiet
not.
Place that's deaf the same girl from Hereditary? Their faces just matched up in my mind real quick.
I want to say.
I'm
Come on,
not
you guys
sure.
jazz and
I
I'm
want to
gonna
say
check that
yes.
out.
Yes. Thinking about it, I'm just thinking of her head getting popped off in the car, and then thinking of her face. And
Millie Shapiro may not be the same
No.
actress. Her older doesn't look quite right. Millie
Mhm.
Shapiro.
What else? She's been in something else, though. I know.
she has.
Like, I recognize that name.
Now this one's Millicent Simmons. Jesus, what a name.
Millicent.
Millicent Simmons. All right, I'll click on Shapiro and figure out where she's been at.
Okay, well,
She looks like Ozzy Osbourne's daughter right now.
while you do, I'll go to number 4, which is the Poughkeepsie tapes,
good choice.
which is
Love that one, by the way.
choice.
filmed in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the title. Investigators stumble on a massive collection of videotapes depicting the murders of serial killer Edward Carver.
That came out in 2009, 2010.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Mm.
people. So I was in college at that time and partying in Poughkeepsie at the time because I went to school over in that
Mhm.
area, and a lot of people going out at night would talk about that movie, and a lot of people were legitimately freaked out because they didn't know if it was
Yeah.
real or if it was fake, and it was like a lot of people were on edge going to a club or something. Everyone's like, all groups, no one walks alone,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, okay, this is some
Mhm.
serious stuff. We're looking into a film in reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's real.
Yeah.
So Hysteria in 2024, but Monkey Bars might be the other one you're thinking of, John. For this
Yeah.
girl, Millie Shapiro. Nada?
Nope.
Disturbia,
Wah,
yeah.
wah.
Disturbia, you said?
Hysteria.
Hysteria, I'm sorry. It's like
All right.
like Disturbia.
So my number 3 is Super Dark Times.
Interesting. Where's that one filmed?
Kingston.
Okay.
Oh, well, there's some super dark times in Kingston.
yeah,
if you
there
guys
is.
aren't from New York, a lot of people who are from New York don't know that Kingston is really rough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Very rough
yeah,
spot.
Kingston's got some rough spots to it.
And a lot of farm
Um,
in some areas.
so in Super Dark Times, teenage best friends engage in a cover-up of a terrible incident. Tensions escalate, and the boys fall into a pit of violence and paranoia.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah,
like it.
I think you in particular would really like Super Dark Times. That feels like a Kearnsy movie.
I'm gonna write it down.
Let's put it on the list.
And wow,
Put it on the list.
I can put it on the list, which will lead us into our number 2, Invasion of the Blood Farmers.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Didn't know what that last word was gonna be. This works out.
So Invasion of the Blood Farmers and another movie by the same director called Shriek of the Mutilated were both filmed in and around Yorktown Heights.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's a good spot.
if you're familiar with Yorktown, you will see places you definitely recognize.
Cool. Very cool.
Okay.
So Invasion of the Blood Farmers is probably about as B-movie as B-movies get.
Okay.
And, I mean, the plot is pretty simple. A group of farmers are secretly harvesting human blood for ultra nefarious reasons.
Ultra nefarious.
It's so crazy. I grew up in Yorktown Heights grew up there my 18 years. It's where I went to like school and everything, and I never knew that they filmed something there. That's awesome.
There's a few. I think it's come up before. Secret of My Success was filmed at Lasden Park,
Okay.
partially.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few.
Because I was familiar with Peaks getting a lot of
Die Hard with a Vengeance is like that
Taconic.
part of the Taconic.
Okay. I didn't know if they went further down on that part. So they were like up by what the Yorktown is.
That's like, that's like right after, right where it goes back to 2 lanes.
No shit.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And
then-
my number one is a movie called Werewolves Within.
I've
Where's
heard
that?
of that.
That was filmed in Woodstock and Phoenicia.
Okay. That one sounds familiar.
Yeah, right.
I highly recommend Werewolves Within. A new
Oh,
part.
dude. Is that Ice Cube?
No. So, Werewolves Within, a new park ranger arrives in a town in the midst
Sam Richardson. I'm sorry.
of a battle over a pipeline that then devolves in a series of grisly murders, teamed with a local postal worker played by Milana Vantrub, the AT&T chick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's great.
Finn must find the werewolf within and stop the killings.
Nice.
I like it.
Very nice. Those are 2 good top 5s. Now, before we wrap up, these books right here behind me are the Isaiah Coleridge series, which take place in the Hudson Valley as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's more thriller, like pseudo gangster crime thriller with horror in the background as it creeps up more as the series goes on, because he's one of the best living horror writers.
Mm-hmm.
And down here is one of his buddies who lives in that's Laird Barron. And then down here is one of his buddies that lives in the Hudson Valley. And this book is called The Fisherman, which takes place in the Hudson Valley as well. And one of those offshoot towns off of 87. That book is phenomenal. That one's the one you're going to read after The Croning, Ryan.
Oh.
Because The Fisherman's another phenomenal once-in-a-lifetime kind of read. It's transformative how good it is.
The Fisherman I'm writing down. But you're forgetting another author, another book that takes place in the Hudson Valley, at least in the beginning.
Is it behind me? I don't think I'm forgetting it if
Well,
it's behind
it's
me.
beneath the veil, man.
Not this one. Oh, yeah, mine. Good call. Thank you for the plug. Yeah, it's true. I have a dark fantasy series that's out that has much of its action taking place, especially the first book, in the Hudson Valley. Thank you, sir. It's called The Valor of
You'll
Valhalla.
never look at the Newburgh Beacon Bridge ever again.
Read it.
Or you'll travel faster over it. Like I do.
Go a little bit quicker over it. And then going away from the shameless plug, thank you again, Ryan. I thought I would do a top 5 to surprise you guys and do top 5 dong reveal movies.
Yes.
But I didn't research it ahead of time. It came to me after we took a quick break, and I was like, oh, I can do this real fast. So I just Googled that term, and Google's AI came up with this. So I'm not going to do the top 5 dong reveal movies, but I'm going to read you this. It seems like there might be a misunderstanding in your query. The term dong reveal is not a standard cinematic term, and the search results indicate a focus on films starring actors named Ma Dong-seok, or Lee Chang-dong, or Ling Dong-wook. Therefore, the top 5 films...
Ling Dong-wook?
Ling Dong-wook.
Therefore, the top 5 films can be interpreted in different ways depending on what is meant by dong reveal. If the intention is to find popular movies starring Ma Dong-seok, then the list could include Crime City, The Outlaws, The Roundup, Train to Busan, along with The Gods, The Two Worlds. If it's Lee Chang-dong, it's Burning, Secret Sunshine, Poetry Oasis, and Peppermint Candy.
Okay.
And if it's Lee Dong-wook only has TV series, so he's a year-end medley and A Tale of the Nine-Tailed.
Okay.
And a Disney Plus show called A Shop for Killers.
Ooh. Oh, you looked up Lee Dong-wook already?
Of course I did.
Right away. So maybe one day I'll find the best dong reveals for you, but I feel like our audience, I should say, is not going to love that, or maybe do a deep dive into that list. But who knows? Maybe we'll do it anyway.
They'll laugh about it.
They might.
They might.
They might. You never know who loves a good dong.
Our listeners also have a good sense of humor, I believe, if they keep on listening to us, which they do. Remember, subscribe, like,
They
and
do.
listen. Or watch.
That's true. All right, guys. That's the end of this episode on Sleepaway Camp. We'll see you next week, or we won't.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Be very